Welcome to the 24th World Cheese Awards. 2,500 entries from all over Planet Cheese, but judges, absolute experts in the field. We've got over 200 of those. In previous years, we've been in London, Dublin, Las Palmas, Gran Canaria in Spain, and now we're at the BBC Good Food Show here in Birmingham. The sense of anticipation is remarkable. What's really important is that there's no yoghurt, there's no cream, there's no milk. It's all about cheese.
Judging process. Firstly, they look at the outside. They look at the rind, whether the rind is properly coloured, whether it's matured. Cutting into the cheese, you're looking for the texture. Is it granular? Is it creamy? Is it smooth? Is it as expected for that type of cheese? Then looking at the paste. Is the paste friable? Is it granular? Does it cream it? Does it bring moisture out when you press it? In the mouth, you're looking for first impressions, front of the mouth. Is it sweet? Is it salty? Has it got robustness in terms of flavour? And lastly, does the flavour last? So those things all put together give you your award, and you knock off points for things that it doesn't achieve. So all of those things contribute to a final result. And when all our judges are happy with the judgment they've made on the cheese, then we have an agreement. Is it a bronze, silver or gold or nothing? All our judges taste all of the golds again and try and decide which is the best of what they've judged. That's where arbitration is very important. Occasionally we'll allow 2 super golds through, and I'll taste both of them and make sure that they are as they should be. Very often I'm making a judgment between 3 or 4 golds where they can't agree, 2 saying this, 3 saying that, to agree on 1 super gold.
We've got judges from all the 4 corners of the globe, and what's crucially, we've got a young demographic of our judges. Judges are also male, female, and they could be cheese makers, they could be journalists, they could be graders, they could be chefs, but right across the culinary ethos. That's really, really important for these.
It is my first time here for the World Cheese Awards, and when I was invited initially it was fairly daunting, and as I read more details about what was involved, I suddenly realised this is the world stage. At home, our specialty cheese shows pull in something like 300 cheeses, which to us is a lot, and it is the whole Australian cheese industry in the one room on the day. So to have the opportunity to come and see the whole world in a much larger room on one day is both very daunting and very exciting.
We have about 60 companies from the United States present, and we entered last year about 500 cheeses, and I think it's about the same this year. So I'm coming over here to see what's going on, and if some companies wish to sell into Europe, we would like to help them.
I think there's some really interesting cheese here today, and there have been for the last few years, but I think the game is being raised every single year. I think it's a testament to cheesemakers. I think it's a fantastic opportunity to showcase some of these cheeses. And as a big retailer ourselves, it's nice to be able to reward these cheesemakers.
Austria is very interested to participate in the World Cheese Awards. We're participating each year, and with many products from Austria. There are about 80 Austrian cheeses.
For me, it's wonderful to just see a lot of people networking together, and obviously seeing all the cheeses coming in from around the world, and it gives me a great opportunity to source and select product to take back home and introduce into the South African retail market. From a consumer point of view, and representing a retailer in South Africa, I need to find cheeses that consumers are really going to look at and want to eat and taste and really enjoy. So, we're looking at appearance and then obviously good flavour delivery, because you would like to see a consumer come back and buy the product again. But we've seen some amazing products and some very niche products as well, little goat cheese products or used milk cheese products.
Well, I think there's a good diversity of cheeses and the judges, so you do get to interact with a lot of people in the profession and taste some fantastic cheeses from all over the world, basically. We just discovered this cheese that we awarded a gold, and it looks like a Swiss type of cheese, but it's a new cheese actually just on the market, and we think it has a fantastic aroma and a fantastic lingering flavor, so it does have that something extra special that we look for when we're judging cheeses.
We know it's very important for the producers that they have our judgment, and they read very carefully the things we tell them about the cheeses we taste. and it's very good for their future, so they know how they have to make their cheeses.
Now, I know he's here somewhere. I can almost smell him. I can certainly smell his product. It was the first British winner for a decade, the World Cheese Awards last year. It was Phil Stansfield's Cornish Blue.
It was just an unbelievable feeling. It was incredible. When you think of what the whole process has gone through, 2,600 cheeses and all those judges and all that process, it was just amazing. We stumbled into cheese through having hard times as dairy farmers, and we decided to try and make a bit of cheese, and there's people who've been making cheese for generations, and we've been making it 10 years, and we get all the way to the top in 10 years, which is fantastic for us. The business has gone up 35%. Everybody from around the world wanted it.
To see so many people here from all over the world, as well as different cheese. Some of them I haven't a clue what they are. We've looked at some small artisan cheese. They could be from anywhere this morning. There are one or two absolutely beautiful ones. A cheese that you know when you put it in your mouth, say, wow, that's good. And you'll go back to it. If you've got to think, no, it's not super cheese.
We're judging it on its look, we're judging on its texture, and first, most importantly, we're judging on its flavour. It's an elegant looking cheese, more so than most of the others that we tried, so it did stand out anyway. Obviously it's got that sort of basket weave Spanish manchego style, which is very attractive. But the texture was really good. It wasn't too dry, it wasn't too oily, it held together, it smelt good. Everything was in balance, both on the fingers and on the nose, so that gives you a good indication that in the mouth it's gonna deliver. And it did.
It's an absolute privilege and an honour to be here amongst such esteemed, established cheese palates. I mean, these are some of the most incredible cheese palates in the world, and here I am getting to learn from them and judge the cheeses alongside them. It's a huge learning curve.
It's very important for networking, because we get to meet a lot of different people from the cheese world, from producers to distributors, from all over the world really. And tasting the cheeses as well, it's very good because you learn something new about cheese every day, so it's really important for us to be doing this.
Now we've whittled them down to 55 super goals from at least a dozen countries. There might even be more, we're still counting, but I can tell you that Croatia's in there, Ireland, Britain, South Africa, Canada, Italy, the Netherlands, France, obviously, Spain, mainland and Gran Canaria. Now, from these 55, we're going to then further hone them down to maybe a dozen. Out of those, one of these is going to be chosen as the Supreme Champion, World Cheese Awards 2011. How exciting is this?
$55.11. That one.
The washed rind?
Yep.
Anybody else?
Yeah, but I've got a second choice.
Okay. Done.
09.
There's a remarkable lack of overlap, isn't there? Okay.
55.11.
Yep.
Now, each of our 16 judges on the Supreme panel have championed one cheese each, and they are going to go through into the grand taste-off, from which we'll choose one Supreme Champion, World Cheese Awards 2011. Over there. So welcome to the Supreme taste-off, the Supreme panel, the best of the best. We've got the best cheeses, whittled them down to 16, and we've got 16 judges, each of whom has championed a cheese from around the world. And it really is a league of nations, not just with our judges, but with the cheeses that we're going to taste as well. So the first cheese, I'm delighted that it's been championed by one of our heroes of the day from South Africa. It is, of course, Cobus Mulder.
The flavor is not a well-matured flavor. But if you look at or try and taste the balance between the acidity and the saltiness and the absolute cleanness of this cheese, then I want to suggest to you that this is the new kind of goat's milk cheese that the world is waiting for.
It's a soft, mould-ripened goat cheese.
The reason there's not much of this to go around is because I ate most of it earlier. It was on the table that I judged this morning, and it's an outstanding cheese.
Well, the reason I like this cheese is it made me feel like I was sitting watching a sunset with a glass of white wine. I think it had good structure, it had a very nice rind to it, the aromatics on it came off really nice and fruity.
There's a pineapple flavour in there that just there's a brief pause as you're eating it, and then there's like a balloon going up of pineapple flavours in your mouth. Absolutely amazing.
The interesting thing about the cheese is how the flavor stays in your mouth and keeps developing and keeps giving and giving.
Parce que je vais vous parler français, je parle pas anglais. No, just for me it's a very good cheese because every cheese here is very good. This is the first time I said. But it's cheese with the race of you. It's a Manek red heat. And it's a farm cheese, and this cheese is very old because 1 year maybe, and no acidity, longer en bouche, good smell, and for me it's typically artisanal cheese, and I love it.
It was almost as good as the one I chose. Yeah, it was excellent. It was a really nice cheese, nice flavour. It's as simple as that. It's a really good cheese.
Sorry, it's so delicious. Had to have more. Visually, I think it looks beautiful. It's got a wonderful creamy mouthfeel and slightly salty. It has a certain sweetness about it as well for a blue cheese. I think is quite unusual. And then very distinctive blue veining and that lovely flavour coming through. But it's not too overpowering. And yes, I think for a artisanal blue cheese, I think it's really outstanding.
I find it very, very interesting and unusual cheese in the sense that I find a mixture of Parmesan and blue cheese at the same time, and the combination is perfect for me. I thought it was very interesting in that sense.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, according to your votes, the third place cheese, the third best cheese in the world, 2011, was the Sartori Edition Cognac, entered by Sartori Company in the United States of America.
As championed by a proper American. Just to show about consistency, and it was very, very tight at the end, I have to say, the top three. But the second place cheese this year, the supreme champion of last year, the runner-up on this occasion was the Cornish blue cheese.
60 points was the third place, 63 was the second place, the Cornish blue, with 66 points. The cheese that actually, it's going back to France. The World Championship is going back to France for the first time since 2006. And amazingly, the cheese that's won it is the same cheese that won the World Championship in 2006. It was a 10-month-old Ossuarati, made by Fromagerie Argot and entered by QST.
And as very aptly championed by Roland.
Every cheese is here is perfect. One champion, okay, but the other cheese is very good. Thank you very much.
I just called the producer and they are almost crying. It's fantastic, especially when it's a family business. In the Basque Country, they are really proud people, and he said it's amazing, as I say, but I think the best thing is for Agur. They are still producing raw milk products in a country where almost everybody produces pasteurized Osoirati, so it's a proof that they were right to continue to do the way they do it.
Blimey, over 2,700 cheeses from 30 different countries. What a day.
It certainly was. This morning we whittled them down to 55 super golds, the 55 best cheeses in the world. And then this afternoon, what did we do? We whittled them down to the top 16. And here's the winner, the world champion 2011. And amazingly, this is a French, unpasteurized sheep's milk cheese from the Basque region, made by Fromagerie Agur, exactly the same cheese that won the World Cheese Awards in 2006. Same maker, same age, same everything. Fantastic cheese, it really is. And what consistency, that's achieving. Stunning.
Hey, what about next year, Bob?
Well, I'm not so sure. But what I want to do is to drink to the 25th anniversary of the World Cheese Awards, because it's next year. So we're going to have to think very carefully. Yeah. And I think this wine may be French.
Au revoir, mon bro.
Salut.
À bientôt.